Hey everyone, it's Jack from WhatCulture.com. The rest of my esteemed co-presenters here at WhatCulture are still away, still partying it up, having been in Berlin. They're back now, but I'm still here holding the fort down. Simon Miller's also busy. I don't know why. Let's be honest, probably at the gym. But I'm gonna look at all the ups. No, don't worry, all the ups and all the downs from Raw, and we'll see if it's good or not. Why? Here's why. How does he do that? So the show opened with Enzo Amore. Enzo came to the ring and, to be quite honest, cut the promo of his life. Enzo was on top form here. He addressed all the concerns with Cass. He said that for 5 years Cass has always been behind him, but he's never had his back. He ran down Cass. I'd argue maybe a little bit too much. You never want to bury the guy that you're cutting a promo against. That light is still flickering. But at the same time, he didn't bury him too much. He didn't bury him. He just kind of had some strong words to say. He said he's crawled out of holes much bigger than 7 foot tall before, which was quite nice. And he said that Cass was nothing more than a catchphrase that he created. Whew. Eventually, obviously, we think Cass is going to destroy Enzo, and then Enzo might look a little bit stupid for being destroyed by a man he's really reduced there in that promo, but at the same time it was a really good promo and I can't deny that. And there was a nice little brawl backstage as well where Enzo flew out of nowhere, jumped on Cass and had a little beat down. So good start to Raw. Nice to see someone a bit different start off Raw instead of one of the main eventers as well, so I have no complaints. This gets an up. Next up, a women's tag match between the team of Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax and the babyface team of Sasha Banks and Bayley. I had a few problems with this match. It was a bit sloppy, a bit lethargic. There was some chemistry you can see kind of growing between Alexa and Sasha, but certainly nothing on the scale of like Charlotte and Sasha or Bayley and Sasha. Alexa's still a little bit inexperienced in the ring, but we've got to give her time, I guess. The ending was a strange one. Alexa tapped out clean to the Banks statement, which might have given away the ending for Great Balls of Fire. We're going to assume now, I think, that Alexa's not going to tap out because we've already seen that visual, and she's probably going to retain instead by heelish tactics. Another problem I had with this match was Bayley. They are burying Bayley so badly. Like, she got taken up by Nia Jax, maybe not even halfway through the match, and then they took her out, helped her to the back during the commercial break. So there's a lot of crossed wires in the women's division at the minute, and it's really got nothing on the SmackDown women's division, it has to be said. Unfortunately, I'm going to give this one a down. Next up, the 50th installment of Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar. Cedric won again. Can we just... something new for these guys. I assume Cedric's going to eventually have a match with Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, and I just don't know what's next for Dar. Hopefully they give him something to get his teeth into, because swear down, he is really good, and a lot of unfamiliar fans with Dar might be getting a little bit impatient. So this angle and match was kind of an angle disguised as a match, really. This gets a down as well. Next up, we had Miz TV, mercifully, without the Ball family after that debacle last week. This was a bit of a filler segment, just setting up the eventual match between Miz and Ambrose at the pay-per-view, but at the same time it was a promo segment involving Miz, Ambrose, and later on Heath Slater as well, who came out with Rhino. Three of probably the best talkers in the company at the minute. Can't really go wrong. So even though not much was said, it was still curiously kind of entertaining in a way, so I will give this one an up. This led to a singles match between The Miz and Heath Slater, and it was decent. It was well decent. Heath's a good wrestler, you kind of forget this, because he's often so involved with comedy stuff, but The Miz really tried to make him look good as well. He was like cowering away from him, treating him like any other babyface opponent rather than the comedy kind of loser that we, for a while, were accustomed to Heath being. Now he's the underdog, and it was a good little match, and the right person won, The Miz obviously, and he was wearing a lovely white suit as well, and it split at the back, and you could see his bottom. So it gets an up. Not because of that. Now Goldust came to the ring in like his old school gear, sat on the director's chair, cut a promo on R-Truth, but then R-Truth was behind him just eating popcorn, which, to be honest, right, I'm sure that like Plumpy doesn't like it, but I thought it was pretty good. Truth then beat him down and kind of sent Goldust scurrying away to the back. And if this leads to a loser leaves town match, I'll be very, very happy. Not because I want to see one of the guys retire, but it'll be a high stakes kind of feud, and both guys are getting on a bit. So it'd be very plausible that one of them is about to retire, and it would, you know, leave a little bit of uncertainty in the match as well. So if this does lead to a loser leaves town match, I'll be a very, very happy boy indeed. This segment, against all odds, this gets it up as well. Oh, bollocks. This was awful. This was a bad bit of the show.
What was it?
So Kurt Hawkins came to the ring.
I didn't watch any of this.
With his thing, and then went, right, Rollins, I'm going to beat you up. Who thinks I'm going to lose this match? And everyone went, hey! And then he went, who thinks I'm going to win this match? And then Rollins took the mic and went, I'm going to win. And then he beat him in about 10 seconds. Gets it down. Did nothing for Rollins. It did nothing for Kurt Hawkins. And then Rollins cut a promo on Bray Wyatt after. And I still don't know why they're feuding. I think Wyatt just kind of went, you're next, Rollins, and he's probably going to lose to him as well. This gets a big down. Just got a text from Papa John's.
Good deals.
Buy one, get one free, excluding Smalls, 2 for Tuesday. What are you doing after this? Next up, potentially my favourite bit of the show, featuring Brock Lesnar and your boy Richard. Samoa Joe. They had a split screen interview and Joe got very, very angry, ripped his microphone off, stormed to the through the back, and everyone was like, no Joe, leave it mate, it's not worth it. And then he got to obviously the door that Lesnar was in. It turns out they were in the same building, and Lesnar was like all laughing and superior, and so was Heyman. Joe was really, really annoyed. It was good, and Joe has been really, really good like throughout this feud, and it gets an up obviously, and I just hope that Lesnar doesn't squash him. I hope it's a competitive match, and I hope that after he's presumably lost, there are some good things for Joe in the future anyway. Next up, a short but quite explosive cruiserweight match between Neville and Mustafa Ali. The right person won, Neville of course, but Ali had some kind of big hope spots to remind us all why he's on a bit of a hot streak at 205 Live in that storyline with Drew Gulak. Yeah, no real complaints here apart from the continued absence of my boy Lince Dorado, but I'll look past that and I'll begrudgingly give this segment an up. Then we saw Bray Wyatt in the desert and he talked some shit. Gets it down. Per Bray. That's all I'm saying for that one, because it was just bollocks. Well, they're in Phoenix, so I guess they turned up at the arena and thought, let's head out into the Arizona desert.
It's just as bad as any other promo he does.
Oh, he performs them well. But it's the writing, isn't it? Next up, a match I was very, very excited for when it was announced earlier in the show. Finn Balor versus Cesaro, which could top like probably any indie card in the world, like not including like higher level indies like Ring of Honor or whatever, but it could, actually no, it probably could. Finn Balor and Cesaro, but instead it was, it was relegated to the second last match on Raw because we had to see Apollo Crews versus Strowman, which is obviously a bit, but we'll get onto that later on. Balor versus Cesaro, best match on the show. Both guys went all out. And then it turned into a bit of a mess. Like everyone got involved, Sheamus got involved, the Hardys got involved, and the Drifter Elias Sampson got involved. What I wouldn't have given for this to have just been a straight singles match with like double the time between the two. But I understand storylines take precedent on the go home show before a pay-per-view. So I am going to give it an up. It was still a good match. Finn Balor won. He keeps the momentum going, and it looks like he's going to, eventually get into a big old feud with the man we all want him to see face, Elias Sampson. And now, yes, the main event, Titus O'Neil kind of talked his client, Apollo Crews, into a match with the terrifying Braun Strowman, but then it was kind of disjointed. It wasn't as good as when Strowman usually beats down guys, as he has been for the past few weeks on Raw, because it was heel versus heel, or heel versus like tweenery heel. So it felt a little bit lethargic. Strowman won, which is fair enough, but then even the stuff where he beat down Titus afterwards felt a little bit off and a little bit strange. So even though the intentions were good, I'm going to give this a down, but it wasn't the end of the show. So then Strowman took Apollo Crews up to the ramp, and now there's his signature weapon there, which is an ambulance, and he opened the door, threw Apollo in, closed the door and went, driver, who is apparently his mate, take him away. The driver didn't take him away, and Strowman went, ooh, well, not that camp, but he went like, ooh, what's going on here? And he went around the front. Look, as Richard pointed out, went to open the door, looked through the window, opened the door anyway, Reigns jumped out and surprised him, but it was a minor gripe, I guess. Reigns beat him up around the stage area, speared him off the stage, and they both landed in some like tables and boxes and stuff. And then crucially, and this is why this final segment gets an up, crucially, both men made it to their feet before the show went off the air. So they both looked strong heading into the pay-per-view. I really liked it, and I genuinely don't know who's going to win at Great Balls of Fire, and that's all you can ask, really. So that's all for this week on Raw Ups and Downs. Simon Miller will, I guess, be back next week. Again, I don't know why he's away, and the rest of my colleagues will probably be back if they ever stop partying it up. It's because they're scared of me, It's because they're terrified. They are shitting themselves. Ross is here. Ross isn't. Ross fears no man. But the other two do. And that's the moral of the story. The ups have won this week on Raw Ups and Downs. I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. Richard Tubman behind the camera. See you soon.
Friday, July 7th, in Manchester. It's the Japanese qualifier of the Pro Wrestling World Cup. It is going to be a phenomenal night. Two of the best young wrestlers in the world, Kyle O'Reilly versus Marty Scurll. Also featuring Rampage versus Tomohiro Ishii in what promises to be an absolutely titanic brawl. The Swords of Essex put their tag championships on the line against former ROH and IWGP champions War Machine. And the qualifier itself, the stacked Japanese bracket. In the first round of the tournament, we will see Kushida versus Sho Tanaka, Bushi versus Tiger Mask, Takahashi versus Yohei Komatsu, and Jushin Thunder Liger versus Funky Weapon Taguchi. Get your tickets at ProWrestlingWorldCup.com.